Question says, given that A equals 2, B equals -3, C equals 4, what is the value of AB times the square root of C squared plus B squared? So how do we do the solution? Okay, so we look at this. We have to substitute the value of each letters and represent it by what they stand for. So for A, stand for 2, B represents -3, C represents 4. Okay, so to approach this, so we have A, B, it means A times B, that gives us 2 times -3. Okay, so we have a square root, so multiply by the square root of, so for C we have to be 4, that is 4 square. Okay, plus we have B, which is -3 square. Okay, when we open up, we have this equals, so for 2 times -3, we have this to be -6 times, so for the square root, so for 4 square, it means 4 times 4. Okay, plus, so for -3, it means -3 times -3 square, -3 as a result of this square. Okay, sorry, so we have our square roots. Okay, so here we have this -6, which is this, times the square root times 4 is 16, plus for 3 times -3 is 9. So here we have this as -6 times the square root, 16 plus 9 is 25. Okay, so we have this as -6 times square root of 25 is 5, so we have this as -30. Okay, so the value of this expression, okay, equals -30. And for the second expression, if x equals -7, y equals 3, calculate the value of this expression. Okay, so we have x plus y over x minus y in the parentheses all squared. So to do this, so we have, so for the value of x, okay, we have to be -7 plus the value of y to be 3. Okay, so this is the information we are using, okay, to calculate the value of this expression. So over, so the value of x is -7. Okay, so we have minus, so the value of y is 3. Okay, so all squared, do not forget that. Okay, so here we have this as, so for the parentheses, we have -7 plus 3. So this just gives -4 at the numerator, over, so -7 minus 3, we have this as -10 at the denominator, all squared. Okay, so for square, for this square, it means we should multiply this by itself twice. It affects the denominator as well, multiply this by itself twice, so we have this as -4 times -4 over -10 times -10. Okay, so what do we have? For -10 times minus is plus, for 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, so here we have this as -10 times minus is plus, for 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, or we have it as 0.16. The question says, evaluate the following when x equals 4, y equals -5, z equals -2. So how do we do the solution? Okay, so looking at the first expression, we have x plus yz over y plus z. Okay, so for the value of x, we have 4, we replace it with 4, plus the value of y, we have it as -5. Okay, and the value of z, we have it as -2. Okay, over, so for y, we have it as -5, plus, so for z, we have it as -2. Okay, so we need to be very careful of the sign. So here we have this as 4. So for plus, so this is -5 times -2. For minus times minus is plus. So for 5 times 2 is 10. So we have 4 plus 10 over, okay, so we have this as -5. Okay, -5. So for plus times minus, so we have it as -2. Okay, is 4 plus 10 is 14. Divide -5 -2, we have it as -7. Here we have this as -2. Okay, which is our final answer. So for the second expression, we have x, y, z. So it means x times y times z times z. Okay, so x times y times z. So what do we do from here? For x, we have it to be 4. So we write it back 4 times. So for y, we have it to be minus 5 times. So for z, we have it to be minus 2. Okay, so by the time we multiply all these together, so for minus times minus is plus. So for 4 times 5 is 20. For 20 times 2, we have it to be 40. Okay. For the third expression, we have x, which represents 4. Okay, minus. So in the parentheses, we have y to be minus 5, which is this. Okay, plus. And for z, we have it to be minus 2. Okay, so let's have it this way, minus 2. So here we have this as 4 minus, so within the parentheses we have minus 5. For plus times minus is minus 2. Okay, so we have 4. Okay, since this is minus 7. Okay, so for minus 1 times minus 7 is plus 7. Okay, so for 4 plus 7 we have this to be 11. Okay, and for the last expression we have 3xy minus y to the power of 3. Okay, so we have this as 3. So for xy, so we multiply this together, so we have 3 times. For the value of x, we have it to be 4. Okay, the value of y, we have it to be minus 5. Okay, so for 3 times 4 times minus 5. Okay, so we have a minus, so we have minus. Okay, for y is to the power of 3. So for the value of y is minus 5. So we have minus 5 raised to the power of 3. Okay, so for 3 times 4 is 12. For 12 times minus 5, we have that to be minus 60. Okay, we have minus. So when we look at the parentheses, we have minus 5 is to the power 3. Okay, which means minus 5 times minus 5 times minus 5. Okay, so we have this as minus 60 minus. So what we have within the parentheses, so for minus times minus is plus, for plus times minus is minus, so we have minus. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, 25 times 5, we have it to be 125. Okay, so we have this as minus 60. So for minus 1 times minus 125, that is plus 125. Okay, so for minus 60 plus 125, it's set as saying 125 minus 60. So when we subtract this, we have this as 65. Thank you very much.